I can look at it two ways.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a bit of my history. So I come from the beautiful county of Nakuru. I'm a Nakuru, we call it Knox Vegas. And when I was growing up, I remember in 1988, my school being disrupted because apparently it was time for election and we were having something called Mlolongo during the former president Moi's time. And because of the commotion around Mlolongo, which didn't seem to be very popular with the people, we were disrupted and we went home. And I asked my parents what's going on. They said also there is election and it has disrupted the normal running of your day.
Yes.
Then after 1988, it will be 1992. Again, we are in school, and guess what? The ethnic tension in Nakuru, violence, is the first time I see human beings carrying arrows in their body, and I see so much blood. I had never seen so much blood. 1997 is another bloody election. By this time, I began to understand, as a very young child, that Kenyan politics is equal to violence. Kenyan politics means that it's time for innocent people to die. And I began to ask myself as a child, why do we need to have elections if people are going to die? Or is it that elections are more important than people? I began to have these questions in my mind. Unfortunately, no one has the answers. The only time in my life that I didn't see violence is the 2002 election. Then after that, we will now have a very bloody election. In 2007, 2008, it happened at my doorstep. And people that I knew died. And by the time it's 2008, I began to write articles about the state of the nation. Where are we? Who are Kenyans? And why do we have to kill during elections? Because I live in Nakuru. Nakuru is a beautiful town, cosmopolitan. My friends are from all ethnic communities, and we never have issues until the election time. And so after that, then I will deviate, get into education. My first degree is in education. That's why I'm an educator. And I will follow that route of being in education. I will deviate again, work for Safaricom, work for NIC Bank, now NCBA, and then go to the US, teach, and then come back, work for the US Embassy, and oversee education for the US Embassy from 2012 to 2020. After that, then I would leave the US Embassy to take up a higher position with the US government under Education USA to oversee 19 African countries in the region of East and Central Africa. I was in charge of 19 embassies and consulates, and again, I'm overseeing education. And so this is where these two tie in, that where I am coming from, I have seen a rotten system of politics. I have seen where people died and no one ever stopped to say so-and-so died because of elections. A system that doesn't have consequences when we lose people. And going into the other part of education, I begin to see that education can change people's lives.
Yeah.
There are kids whose families suffered the post-election violence. They lost everything. But one of them is now living in the United States, very successful young man. And then I begin to ask myself a question. Why is it that when we keep our graduates in Kenya, they become unemployed? And even if they get a salary, it's not really meaningful. So they cannot do anything meaningful with the salaries that they are having. What is it about our businesses that they're not able to pay people meaningful salaries? When we take these kids out of Kenya, we take them to the US, you find somebody earning close to 1 million shillings at 22. That should tell us something. That means that our education system is definitely not relevant.
Okay.
It is not relevant to addressing the needs of the market.